Oh, we're on it, and hello, and welcome to Boiled Piss, 6 of one and half a dozen of another. We've got our usual panellists this evening. Good evening to Simon Dunk.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening to our resident Paddy and Rich Mans Owen, Aidan.
Gentlemen, so good to see you from my pickle jar.
We have Sweden's favourite serial killer, Jamp Jim.
Hello, everyone.
We have the lovely Wendy from Canada.
Hello, happy Canada Day.
Oh, is it Canada Day, is it?
Oh, happy
is
Canada Day, Wendy.
Did you get the day off?
No, because we're taking Friday off.
Oh, well. And we've got our Yorkshire Terrier, Mr. Wayne Hudson. All right, Wayne.
Hello, how are you doing?
That's a good old Yorkshire accent.
That was the Geordie.
The one that Andy Jack didn't spot.
It's from
Despite being
Potato
told.
Head.
Yeah, despite being told, yeah. Right.
I'm just glad to see Aidan still alive.
Yeah, I don't know where he's been.
Yeah, I was busy trying to turn myself from a potato to an orange.
You've got the orange bit right, that's for sure.
Something's going right. Anyway, yeah, good stuff.
And there was a lot of pickling going on.
I bet there was. So, straight on to Mr. Hudson, who has a few words to say.
Right. There's been a bit of a drama and a bit of a scandal this week concerning a video put out by Chazwald Almighty. And from that, we at Boil Piss would like to say that we're very sorry to hear that Alex is in a bad way and everything that's befallen him. And we wish him the absolute best. We hope he gets feeling a bit better soon and back on his feet and back to enjoying what he does and all that lot. We have to say that Chazwald is an independent person, an independent YouTuber who is free to make whatever content he wishes, but is not in any way, shape or form on behalf of Boil Piss. Chaz is happy to state that, and we also need to say that anybody who wishes to think or say that Boil Piss is in any way responsible for the content part by Chazwald is basically an agenda-driven, lying, disingenuous fuckpig. Anyone who is of that opinion that Boil Piss is responsible for the content put out by Chazwald is welcome to ask for a link to come onto the show during the second half of the show, after the first hour, and discuss rather than whinging like cowardly butthurt schoolgirls in the comments. They've got this one chance, or you've got this one chance to do so, or forever hold your peace. You may have noticed that Chazwald is not with us this week. Chazwald is away doing a measure of penance for his actions. More on that later in the show. We'll be hearing from him probably via voicemail. And with that, I'll hand you back over to Mark.
Thank you, Wayne. I just also want to mention that there is absolutely no truth in the rumour that we sold Chaz into gypsy slavery, where the other rumour that he was being forced to watch exiled videos and Meeting of the Mind shows on a continual loop, whilst being made subject to Swedish torture methods normally reserved for Jim's victims, in a tunnel in darkest Kent somewhere wearing a cap cam.
Well, there is some truth in that.
Well, partly, but there's absolutely no truth at all that his next door neighbour's cousin's window cleaner's dog's father saw a video somewhere on his channel, and 3 gypsies found him and beat the shit out of him. There's no truth in that whatsoever. Just want to
No, because I was wondering about that because it was so convincing.
It never happened.
Never happened.
No, absolutely didn't.
Definitely never happened.
Or is likely to happen.
No, ever.
Or in any possible universe could ever happen.
No. So, with that, we obviously the first thing I've mentioned, I've written down that obviously Andy Jack left again.
Do we think he's probably left? I mean, or is it just a thing that all the Yeah, I mean, it's got a bit fashionable this week to say you're leaving. I've lost count of the number of people that have made leaving videos and decided to fuck off.
Well, Brett Keane left for a day,
yeah.
and then actually came back the day after and said, well, people love me. No, they don't at all. They think you're a twat.
Isn't that a record for Brett Keane? He waited for a day. It's usually about 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, usually. I mean, Andy Jack did say that Cliff Jumper was a liar, which we're not having that because Cliff Jumper's a national treasure.
He
never lies.
I don't think it's possible for him to lie, is it?
No. I don't think he could lie straight in bed. If you could get a bed to fit him, that is.
I was going to say that's because he's too long. His legs stick out the bottom.
He's 7'6" or something like that.
He's something like that.
Whereas Jason's 4'3" with his arms in the air. Andy Jack also said Fiona thinks he's a twat. It's not just
Everyone
Fiona,
thinks he's a twat.
Yeah, it's not just Fiona. It's every fucking one that thinks you're a complete twat.
I've got a strange feeling that most of his family also think he's a twat, but don't let on.
Yeah, and of course before he left, he did show some film of someone else's visit to a different place other than the Bastion in Kent, and said, well, obviously that somehow makes Dodgy Dave's claims true of seeing demons, etc. And Dodgy Dave's left as well. He shut his channel down, and
has he not made any ridiculing videos this week?
What the shit? No. He shut his. I think he sent Andy a message that Andy read out on air to say, "Oh, fuck them all! I'm not dealing with these idiots anymore. I know it's all true."
Do you mean he's not dealing with those internet people again? Is that?
Yes, the internet people. Yeah, the ones that stopped him writing his book by hiding his pencil. But he's removed
by poisoning his ghostwriter.
I'd like to think that Von Helton had something to do with this. Having disproved the demons in the Bastion, I think really what happened there was a spiritual clash of the titans between Dodgy Dave and Van Helton.
Yeah, possibly. Perhaps.
Commando's your man with the demons, though, Simon.
Commando.
Well,
come
yeah.
in, Commando, come in.
It's all about astrology. Yeah.
You're very quiet there, Simon.
Okay.
It's no wonder he's got a fucking internet connection. Lidl's provide Simon's internet.
But what do we reckon? What do we think? Andy Jack gone for a week, gone for a year, never gone?
These people don't disappear.
He'll be back.
But I wonder which Andy Jack we're going to get. Are we going to get the Mad's a Box of Frogs Andy Jack, or are we going to get the slightly less mad Andy Jack? We'll see.
I haven't the faintest. It's just like the box of chocolates, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and Andy's got half the brains of Forrest Gump.
So, right, Andy's left. You say Dodgy Dave's left?
Dodgy Dave's left, yeah, of course. And we already know G-Man's left. Brett Keane left for a day, came back.
Oh, what about that website we found?
Oh, yes, there is a web, yes.
Yes, and... yes, indeed. Was that link you sent me?
Yes, it is.
I did quite enjoy one of the comments that I read on that.
Did you, Jim?
Yeah, it's
do you want to give a brief description of the website for the viewers?
This website is called Subterranean UK. Subterranean...
History. Subterranean
history.co.uk. And it's all about these people that go and explore things that are underground, like, I guess, caves and fortifications and things. And I found this thing about the Bastion, and there's a comment section, and there happens to be a comment written there from a guy called Canterbury Dave, and I think I'll read it out. So this is Canterbury Dave. There are demons in the Bastion. I went there with a broken leg that wouldn't knit together. I won't reveal how I got there with a broken leg. When I came out, my leg bone knitted back together, although this happened a considerable amount of time later, but still. I took several photos that showed these demons and some ectoplasm. Yet when I showed them to the internet people, they all took the piss and said that I was experiencing pareidolia. This was utterly unacceptable, so I decided to stop work on a book I was writing, and I blamed the internet people for this. I also decided that my main detractors were so utterly bereft of respect for my experiences that I thought it fair to try and obtain their identity and work details, so I contacted the DVLA to get their driving licenses removed, and also contacted their employers in order to get them fired. They're atheists, so they deserve this anyway. I didn't manage to get hold of the dead docs, so I settled for sending a creationist friend of mine as a as paranoid as I could, so that he in turn would tell lies about these internet people on the internet. I also made several videos with the faces of these atheists superimposed onto copulating apes, and also including lots of fart noises. That will show him.
Amazing. So that's
a hell of a coincidence, isn't it? When you think about it.
That was my home help knocking on the window. Sorry about that.
Well, you say help.
I think it is. I think it's someone at the window.
There's someone at the window.
Suddenly
the video stream will stop, and everyone's going to be wondering what's happened.
Is it a demon?
Are there lots of flashing lights in your back garden? Are you about to get a probe up your ass?
No,
hang on. Will you stop that, please? I'm doing this show.
It's Wayne's Polish. It's Wayne's Polish friend come round to do the cleaning.
Can you just get me a sandwich or something, love?
Well, here's the thing, Simon. You know the Polish racist, right?
Yeah.
Because she's only on minimum. Well, not far. She's above minimum wage, but not far above. Because she's only doing these like mundane tasks, right?
Like what?
She operates this little materials testing machine.
So you got home help. Just get me a sandwich, love. Just bring me a sandwich.
The thing is, because she's not got a deal of money, she claims that at weekends she goes around cleaning houses. Now I've said I know what sort of cleaning she's doing. She's doing dressed in a fucking French maid's outfit. And then one of the other lads at work says, "Nah, she's not doing cleaning. She's far too attractive and prissy for cleaning." I says, "Why? What do you think she's done?" She says, "I reckon she's a cam girl."
Sorry, can't get the staff. Can you just get me a beer, please? Fuck's sake.
So yeah, and she's certainly perky enough for stripping and lap dancing. So
well, Wayne, all I can say.
Go on.
Yeah, well, send her round to Mark's first. He sounds like he's got a bit of trouble with the one that he's got in at the moment. Say no more.
No, you can't get the staff. Oh dear. She's got me a sandwich and some beer. That's the main thing.
She's the perfect woman, Mike. You should marry her.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, love. Oh, I'm in the middle of a show. Oh, sorry about that.
Annabelle? Is that Annabelle?
No, of course it's not. It's the home help. I told you already. Surprise guest.
It is Annabelle.
It is, yes.
Fucking hell!
What's she doing there?
Hey, Annabelle.
Somebody's going to shit themselves in a minute when they're watching this. Somebody's going to have a shit fit.
I'm surprised you let her in the house.
Jim said he's surprised I let you in the house.
By the way, Mark, you do realise something, don't you? You do realise that Rizzler is going to declare war on you now.
Yeah, I know. You can't get the staff, so I just got someone in. She got me a beer and some Kentucky chicken. So what?
Rizzler's going to be in an absolute rage.
Is she any less psychotic in real life?
No, she's completely normal in real life.
Yeah, right.
She's also within arm's reach.
No, she just said to me, "Oh, I'll pop over and be a surprise guest." I said, "Yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be fun. It'll be a laugh." So she actually came down with a headscarf and dressed up as the home help and put the Hoover on and everything.
Didn't push it round though, did she?
She looked quite fetching with the hijab on.
Wayne said you look quite fetching with the hijab on.
Not as fetching as she'd look in a burqa.
Not as Jim said, not as good as you look in a burqa. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Right, so there's why the show's going to be a bit curtailed tonight, then, is it?
No, it's fine. It was just that was just a surprise thing. But the only thing was that Annabelle's not keen on pork, which sort of fucks up the evening a bit. There you go.
Yeah, does a bit.
She would be if she come round our house. Hey!
Lovely slice of bacon.
On with the show. Yes. Right, what have we got next?
Have we got any subjects this week, Mark?
Yes, we have. There was
Anybody would think we didn't have a plan.
Right, hang on a second. There's one I did mark
How you
down.
Got a
spelling
fucking
that?
clue.
How you spelling that, Wayne?
I did see a good website.
Oh, it's got serious now.
No, it was just a new theory about Stonehenge, apparently. It said a new theory claims that Stonehenge was an ancient meeting point for bellends. A stunning new theory. It's a great site I found about all things British. It said there is a new theory that claims Stonehenge was an ancient meeting point for bellends. A stunning new theory proposes that Stonehenge was little more than a great place for annoying tossers to congregate. Neolithic expert Professor Simon Williams based the theory on repeated observations of a vast assortment of dicks with nothing better to do than turning up at this time of year. Armed with fancy measuring gear, Dr. Williams' team could find no alignment whatsoever with celestial bodies, noting that the largest stone points towards the overpriced gift shop. And he said there's a lot of shite talked about how the tallest stone is aligned with a midsummer sunset, but the only way you could think that is if you're on heavy drugs. If it's a calendar, they forgot the fucking leap year, he said. This theory was tested. The theory was tested when the solstice sun set at Stonehenge at 21:26 BST last Saturday, when, as he predicted, an array of tedious, dreadlocked hippies appeared and claimed the site for themselves. He said he was really thrilled at the findings. He said, sure enough, as the sun began to set, a troop of arseholes came marching over the downs, banging a fucking drum of some description. He's afraid to say that ancient man had much in common with these new age twats, even down to the frankly appalling personal hygiene. There was a nice sunset, sure enough, but it was ruined by these legal high snorting knobheads.
You know where Stonehenge is near, don't you?
Salisbury.
Or it's quite near Swindon too. Do you reckon Andy Jack went down there?
Yeah, could have done, yeah.
Does it heal broken legs?
If you catch a druid, although there is a guy that is on.
Although I can't imagine if one of those fucking lentils fell on your leg, it'd do it any good.
No, not much. There's a guy that changed his name to King Arthur Pendragon. He is real. He stands for election in Salisbury, in Wiltshire.
Yeah. Isn't he like the self-elected head of the Druids or something?
That's right. Yeah. He turns up in full druid regalia with his wife, Mrs. Pendragon. And
do you mean those druids that didn't exist until the end of the 19th century?
Yeah, that's the ones. Dear, oh dear. All right. I believe, obviously, that. Didn't you have something to mention about the Catholics, Jim?
Oh God, we're going there again. Oh no, there was quite an interesting thing
I just
about.
got some bookmarks. One of which was about that.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You're cutting up there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there was the one about Dutch campaigners flying abortion pills into Poland or something.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty good one. I mean, I don't know if anyone else read that one. That apparently in Poland, abortion is now illegal. It used to be legal when the communists were in charge, and they were a repressive bunch of bastards. So when they were kicked out, the Roman Catholic Church saw a vacancy or a void they could fill for repression and decided to cancel all the decent laws they had and impose their own theology. So nowadays, abortion is illegal in Poland. It's got one of the tightest abortion laws in the whole of Europe, similar to the one in Ireland, I believe, Aidan. So what the Dutch campaigners, these Dutch feminist campaigners are doing, they are using drones to fly in abortion pills so that women in Poland can still have a choice. And apparently it's not illegal or anything. And I just thought it was quite an interesting way. First of all, we talk a lot about all the historical stuff the Catholic Church has got up to, all the child abuse and stuff. But this is actually something that's happening now. This is the Catholic Church imposing their theological views on a populace, and they're supposed to be moderate.
So the Poles, right? Not only are they quite attractive racists, they're also Catholic anti-abortionists.
Well, I don't know if the Poles are. I just think that they're obviously Catholicism is quite strong in Poland, and so the Catholic Church saw a way they could get their influence in. You know,
the Catholic Church is basically acting like the mafia again,
yes,
and imposing their will on people.
Yeah.
What is a bit worrying for me is it says that the group called Women on Waves flew aircraft from Germany. I mean, I think the Poles probably would have shat themselves seeing aircraft from Germany dropping stuff on them again.
Oh, no, not again.
Nazi Blitzkrieg!
And then to find out it was just pills. But still, you know.
But I heard that the Catholic Church are working on a new project similar to theirs. They're going to employ huge drones to fly paedophiles out of places and into freedom, just like they've always done.
Roman Catholic Church drones, that'd be good.
Except they've got to use technology which is contemporary to their morality. So they're going to be making it out of twigs and catguts.
Now you'd think they were making the planes would be made out of solid gold and jewels, considering what they actually like.
Then
but we talk about this being, you know, the difference between moderate belief and fundamental belief is how you try and impose it on other people. And this is a group of sinister virgins in the Vatican imposing their beliefs on an entire country. Did you just say virgins? Fuck off. Yeah, well. Apparently boys doesn't count. No, they've all... Or every fucker in the Vatican's had women.
Well, that leads us into the other one about the paedophile priest that fled the country after a police officer tipped off the Catholic Church in Birmingham. Apparently police officers passed on documents 30 years ago which led to James Robinson being spirited away by the archdiocese. This is 30 years ago. I mean, you know, and with police assistance.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? It seems like a week doesn't go past or a few days don't go past without some other fucking massive scandal which affects them.
But
Something else.
But do you know what strikes me though? Hi, Annabelle. Do you know what strikes me about the entire thing is, right? Operation U-Tree. You've got celebrity. You've got the Dawn Chorus. Jack Boot. You've got Jack Boot. Hang on, Annabelle. You've got Jack Boots at Dawn. Like shame walking these celebrities out of their houses with the press ready, right? You got Catholic fuckers, priests, and all you hear is crickets.
Yeah. What's worrying about this particular article, it says that the anonymous victim of the priest is known as Donald. He was brought up in the Father Hudson Home for Orphans in Coleshill in Warwickshire. Father Hudson Home for Orphans, eh, Wayne?
It's a popular name. That's all I'm saying.
It's a local place for local boys.
It's sucks in a lot of places.
Oh, Nate was interrogated
Sounds
today
like
by.
Sounds like the YMCA.
I caught a little bit of the heathens thing before I came in.
Yeah.
Before we leave this completely and move on to something else, which I'm sure everyone's dying to do, there was another story I read about these, and I only read this tonight, about some French soldiers, a couple of French soldiers in Chad, I think it was, somewhere in Africa anyway, who have now been suspended for alleged child abuse. Yes. And I'm just thinking, you know, that's how you do it. You know, you don't conceal it, you make it public, you bring in the authorities, and you do your best to work out what these, you know, perverts have done and convict them of it, you know, and you know, they did say the French have a bit of a history here of covering up child abuse with their soldiers, which isn't surprising because there are lots of Catholics in France, but I just thought that just shows the polarity, the difference is that's what you do. You bring it out into the open, you say, look, this is a problem, you get it investigated, you get people convicted. What you don't do is hide it away and pretend nothing's happening. And it just, you know,
and what you don't say then is, and well, God had a plan for those children.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's the one that really gets me when you hear people say that sort of stuff. That God's plan was to let a little kid get fucked.
And then told to be quiet.
Yeah.
Well, Christian hillbilly springs to mind.
Yes, you're right. It was France suspended 2 soldiers in Burkina Faso. One of the victims was a 5-year-old girl whose father found a camera containing images of his daughter being sexually abused.
Burkina Faso, is that the same place that used to be called Upper Volta?
Upper where?
Upper Volta, I believe.
Ooh,
What's a volta?
whatever. Yeah. What and who?
Wait,
It's an Italian unit of electricity.
Can you all stop talking?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
No, we can't hear you.
I can't.
Can you hear us, Annabelle? Annabelle, can you hear us?
You guys feel like when I'm talking.
Yes.
Can I put it on? Can I put it on?
Sick.
I'll just take this out and listen to it. Or is it not going to bother you?
Okay, I think we might mute Annabelle because her technological differences.
Oh, right.
Right. Thank fuck for that. Right, let's move on.
Moving swiftly on.
Moving swiftly on. So, right, we've done Catholics.
Right, have you got a full agenda list, Jim?
Me?
No, the other.
We're winging it like normal.
Yeah, I know, but Mark's got a list.
Oh, right.
Didn't see fit to give it fucking rest of us.
I did. I gave it to you in Facebook chat the other day, you bunch of bastards.
Yeah, I've got it.
The other thing we wanted to talk about was what else have I got? Bear with me a second.
Right, Andy Jack.
Well,
Catholics.
I think we could probably talk about the momentous decision in the United States.
Oh, that was it. Yes. Yes, we have to. Yeah. Sorry, I found a bit of paper now. Yes, Marriage Equality USA.
But what's also interesting is all these videos by the retards that have come out in the last few days. I mean, we've had Shani for Christ make one, I believe. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of it because as soon as I hear her voice, she sounds like she's drunk, and it just annoys me.
Well, let me just interject one sec. Shani's voice reminds me of an old pissed actress. Like some faded Hollywood old soak.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, what were the one, Joan Crawford, something like that.
Yeah.
Dame Joan Crawford, thank you, darling.
Yeah, exactly. Was famous in the 60s, but recently has made more of a living in B movies and getting her tits out as often as possible.
Yeah,
And
now she's permanently soused and medicated, and just lives in a mansion, a dilapidated mansion, reliving her glory days to the pool boy who comes round once a month.
You're painting me a picture, Wayne.
Going, yeah, darling, and in those days I was something, you know.
Yeah, exactly. A bit like Bubbles off Little Britain.
Yes.
That's what she is.
Bubbles, darling.
Yeah, Bubbles DeVere, yeah.
Can I just say something about Shani?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, Annabelle speaking.
No, seriously, I had a chat with her the other night, and you know what? She's got a big heart, guys. Don't give her too hard a
She's got a big everything, to be fair.
Yeah, well, just take piss out of her voice. We're not being too harsh. We take piss out of everybody's voices. She came off with his
I look like Christian anarchist now.
With his speaking like a Bakelite down a Bakelite telephone. Sounds like when Seamus goes, No, I am not going to allow you to do that. I'm talking about a reductio. It's a reductio, Floyd. Floyd, I want to strangle you right now.
But to be fair,
You guys always interrupt me. You never let me speak.
Yeah, but we do. We always interrupt you, Simon.
Sorry.
But going back to what Annabelle said, I'm sure Shani has got a big heart, and this is part of the problem with her religion, is that she is this. I think it was Weinberg that said about how without religion, good people do good things and bad people do bad things, but to get a good person to do bad things, that takes religion. And I kind of see that with Shani, is that she's probably all right. She's probably a nice enough person, but because of her religious beliefs, it just turned her into a total bitch. I
agree. I wish with Shani, she's one of those people I cannot dislike. There's something about her, and I just think, you poor twat.
Oh, we found what it. I think we found what it is.
Oh dear.
I just think you poor soppy twat.
Oh God.
I'm just going to mute you for the.
Yeah. Or Buddha.
Yeah. What? So you
What is the problem you've got with me, Jim, today?
Nothing. I love you like normal, Annabelle.
Annabelle, it's called.
So what's the problem?
It's called Little Bonnie and Clyde. Annabelle. It's called a show.
Right. Anyway, the USA bit. There are a lot of Christians crying about marriage equality, which is quite funny. Which has made me laugh a lot. And there's another young lad that's been on that Shani's saying you ought to listen to him. That was quite funny. And then there was Matt Slick having a good old go about it, and then Nate's had a go about it. They've all had a bit of a cry.
Nate's had a go at it as well, has he?
I think it's funny.
Sort of.
I think it's funny that the boot's on the other foot now in some respects, because now it's the non-homosexuals that are getting butthurt.
But anyone would think that it's like, they haven't sort of, all these people saying, well, that's the end of the world now, God's going to smite America. Like, they're not Peripheral Prophet was going on about, it's part of the prophecy. Now all we've got to do is have the 7-year peace treaty organised. And I tried to explain to him that peace treaties aren't normally sort of like on contracts. You don't agree, we'll have peace for 7 years and then we'll have another war.
Exactly.
You just sign a treaty and that's it.
See how things are going after a little while.
Yeah, let's see how it goes for 5 years. And...
If these American fucking idiots think that that God's going to punish America and lay it to waste for a bit of gay marriage, what do they think fucked Africa up?
Yeah, and it's not gay marriage, it's just marriage equality. Plus, this Peripheral says that everything's come to pass now, and apparently there has to be a 7-year peace treaty with Israel. Well, first of all, he said peace treaty. I said, well, you need to catch up on history. There have been lots of peace treaties in Israel over the years, not just... But apparently the Bible says it's got to be a specific 7-year one. So that means the end times, and it all fits in with the prophecy. And,
You know what's sad about Peripheral Prophet? That he was normal up until 2 years ago.
Do you know what, right?
When you say normal...
Define normal.
Yeah, all right, well, he just seems to have gone from one extreme to the other.
If I were Obama, I'd do my fucking best to just troll the religious in between now and him leaving office. I would.
Get on G+, Obama. Come on.
You can imagine him in front of the podium and saying, my fellow Americans, I'm going to troll the fuck out of the religious.
Yeah.
I've just had an email in from G-Man calling out Obama to debate.
I think Jason Burns beat him to it. I mean,
you know what gets me about this entire marriage equality issue is where were all these self-righteous Christians for the last 50 years or 100 years who were protesting divorce? The divorce rate in America is 50%, is it not? And doesn't the Bible condemn divorce just as much as anything else?
I think perhaps there was a lot of outcry about it at the time. I don't know the history of America or when divorce was legalized, or if it's always been legal or whatever, but I think it's one of those things that's just become accepted. I mean, even Catholics nowadays in the UK get divorced all the time, and nobody bats an eyelid. And that's supposed to be one of the worst things you can do, isn't it? Or certainly a pretty major religious faux pas.
I mean, there is a special dispensation you can get from the church to nullify the first marriage or something. I can't remember what it's called. A
fucking choir boy.
Rota or something.
Yeah, I think we've got a message incoming, a message from Chaz, I think. Fine.
Oh, have we?
Excellent.
What's Chaz up to? Not a lot by the sound of it.
It sounds pretty nasty.
Is Wayne frozen, or is he just pretending?
I think he's just terrified.
No?
Oh no, he hasn't frozen.
No, he hasn't frozen.
No, I saw a nostril move.
I'm sure he said he just had a message from Chaz or something.
Is his headphones stopped working? Oh right.
No.
Yeah, I think
now
technical
I understand.
difficulties.
Technical
obviously.
difficulties.
Well, it
Anyway.
wouldn't be boiled piss without our technical difficulties, would it?
But
With
Well,
our live
okay,
feeds.
keep going with this gay marriage thing in America, then, shall we?
there is no
Yeah.
Wi-Fi down in the dungeon.
Yeah, well,
I should know. I've got all my victims inside a Faraday cage. Nothing can happen to that fucker.
can hear him crackling in the kitchen.
Not even Tesla.
But it really bugs me when you see like that kid today who came on and said, "Oh, I'm not homophobic," and then he just made a whole load of homophobic type statements. You know, I just don't see what the problem is. You're giving certain people the same rights as everybody else. What is the problem in that? Why is that such a bad thing? No one's saying you have to get married to a gay. No one's saying you have to be in a same-sex relationship. It's just saying that other people can get the same rights as you do, and it's. You know, they were having the same discussion in America in the 60s about black people, and maybe in 7 years' time.
Just want to cut in there. I was absolutely appalled. I actually saw in Ireland the last bastion of Catholicism. 2 men holding hands the other day.
Oh, fucking terrible!
It was just awful. I was just so filled with joy and love.
Aidan, were they kneeling down with dog collars?
I can give you photographs if you want.
So you were out photographing men holding hands in Ireland, were you, Aidan?
With dog collars?
What we say
Where the fuck do you think I was for the last week?
Yeah, you can tell by the sound of it.
When you say men, there's the people Aidan normally calls uncle.
I wondered why you wanted to borrow my cunt cam.
The whole issue with gay marriage in the United States is that every few years in America, the preachers of the church, they have to get together and pick an issue to protest against and to get their dumb sheeple all worked up about whatever the issue of the day is. Like, you know, it's either abortion or now it's gay marriage. Now, and before it was interracial marriage years and years ago, and so on and so forth. They just pick an issue in order to pound on the pulpit and get the people all riled up against the government.
But I mean, you know that churches in the US are tax exempt, the same as they are in a lot of places in Europe. And part of the reason for that is that it's so that the church and the government are separate, so that really the church shouldn't be commenting on political issues. If the church is starting to get involved in politics, then surely their tax exempt status should be removed. If they want to go around telling people that gays shouldn't get married, that's fine, but maybe they should have to start paying taxes like every other fucker does in America. Why should their particular little boys' club be exempt from what everyone else has to do? It's the same over here.
Little boys in the church.
Yeah, exactly.
If the Catholics were charged by the boy, they'd be bankrupt by now.
I mean, again, the Catholics are some of the worst in this. This is supposed to be a moderate organisation, but they're some of the hardest campaigning against these things, wherever it may be in America or in Europe or whatever. One of the loudest voices you'll find is the Catholic Church.
I'm actually going to start up an anti-Catholic thing. I'm going to call it Peaching to the Choir Boys. Right, Wayne, are you there?
Look, mate, I don't care how depressed you are, I'm on the other phone. Fuck off. Yes, hello, Bill Pierce, it's me, Chazwald. I'm just here at the moment doing some work with the Samaritans. I've had a lot of people calling in. To be honest, it's rather boring. It's always the same story. I think I've got to go and do something else if I'm going to make it up to the community. All my love to Bill Pierce. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, so Chaz is trying to win hearts and minds then.
Shock and awe. Shock and awe.
That was obviously done under duress.
Oh dear.
We had 41 people watching a minute ago. That's gone down to 37 now. The Chazwald effect.
Did the viewership go up when Annabelle came in, or did it go? Someone has mentioned, actually, I think Sam Harwood said he didn't think I would stoop as so low. Sam has said she didn't think I would stoop as low as G-Man in thinking slavery was okay, but in my case, Annabelle's a brilliant choice.
Am I audible again?
Yes, you are, yeah. And Drag has said that Shani told him one of her problems was that she was a fleshly, horny woman, and that she used to fall prey to carnal sins, although he spelt it canal, so I'm not quite sure whether
Canal sins.
Whether she had a
She
shag.
used to go nude swimming.
Whether she had a shag on a longboat, I'm not sure.
I bet she displaced a lot of water.
Falls prey to canal sins.
You've got some nerve.
Orgy. Says his mind is scarred.
He just said that he discarded water. Jim just said. Shani, yeah, I know that she would. What did you say, Jim?
Oh, I can't remember, Annabelle.
Anyway, it's
That's convenient.
Moment's gone.
Just making a point, but you're hardly in a position to say anything like that.
What are you talking about? I've got the body of an Adonis.
Oh,
I'll get an Adonis that's put on a few pounds.
You won't believe your mind.
Yes.
I've got
It's on grounds that I've got a massive penis.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen it, so it's just hearsay.
I must say that Annabelle's doing a shocking, an actual sterling impression of Exiled in this hangout.
Fucking dare you. Right, that's it.
I was gonna go for Anne Frank.
It's not that good an impression. She managed to get past border control to get in here.
I tell you what, Jim, I swear, when we go for our little holiday down to Dover, you're in trouble, big trouble.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Annabelle's going to take you up the Bastion
Yeah.
with the rough end of a pineapple. Hey, Annabelle said half a shandy, she feels drunk. Hey, talk about cheap date. Kentucky Fried Chicken, half a shandy, I'm there.
You've got a blowjob as well. Don't leave
Did I?
that
I missed that. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Anyway, back to what we were talking
I
about.
was going to play. It's probably not going to have any audio, but it's just this has made me laugh this week, so I'm going to screen share it. It is how not to mess with the British Army.
Oh, I know what you're going to play.
I hope. Am I screen sharing okay?
Yeah.
You are.
Yes.
All right. This is.
Present though.
Oh,
We'll get the hang of this technology thing one day, you know.
can someone else
Yeah.
present me, or do I have to do it myself? This is crap, isn't it? Oh yes, present to everyone. There we go.
Fucking hell, 64, is it? Unread notifications.
Wow.
They're
Right,
all saying you're a cunt.
I'm not.
I'm looking at his bookmarks.
I'm not sure whether.
Yeah, exactly.
The porn's gone. I'm not sure whether this is the nationality of the tourist, but whoever he is, he deserved to die. But there we go. I'll just play the video quickly. This is the.
One of Mark's bookmarks was a folder called Noah.
Yes, it was because I think in a hangout I was discussing it, so I got some links ready. You know, that thing that we like, atheists, not called evidence and stuff. Always helps. Anyway, here's the video.
I think you have to put the volume on too.
I don't think you won't be able to hear the volume.
Alright, I can't even see the pictures at the moment.
Okay.
Well, I can see it, but it's all frozen.
I think it's just an explanation at first, and then it shows you what happens. Hang on.
Alright.
I'll just move it forward. There we go.
There we go, yeah.
You can see the tourist there walking alongside, thinking he's being very clever. I mean,
Yeah.
these aren't for show. These are proper soldiers. They're proper
Active duty soldiers.
and that's a real gun. And it's like, there you go, hand on the shoulder. Look,
Yeah, what
You-
twat.
bearing in mind that we've had a soldier beheaded on the streets of
Well,
London.
the soldier does look
I
like someone
know-
just pulled his knob out.
I know one of these guys that actually served in the guards there, and this is just they chase down tourists and shit like that, even like 20 years ago, because that's what they're ordered to do. That's their job. They are trained soldiers. That's
Yeah,
their job.
Yeah, they're guarding, you know, I just want to move the
The
video.
crown jewels, effectively.
Won't let me move the video on for some strange reason. That's great. More technical
Oh.
difficulty.
I mean, you've got to ask, what the
There we
fuck did... Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
He just shouts at the guy, "Don't touch the Queen's Guard" or something, and then points the bayonet with the loaded rifle at him. And there's a comment,
I mean, overreaction again.
yeah, I mean, a commenter on the video said, "It's worrying to see such an uptight, violent, and self-obsessed behaviour from a so-called Queen's Guard. He's guarding the palace. I'm afraid these traits are typical amongst the English people in general. The guard is merely an example of this. For crying out loud, what possible harm can an unarmed tourist in a playful mood inflict upon an armed soldier? Learn to recognise when someone's trying to have some fun with you and not get angry so quickly." By the way,
okay then. What possible harm can an unarmed, overweight man selling a few cigarettes have on half a dozen police officers who are trained in illegal chokeholds?
yeah, and bearing in mind, two guys ran over one of our soldiers last year, or no, 3 years ago, and beheaded him on the streets of London. So then the last comment says, "By the way, a lot of people do find the way the soldiers walk rather amusing, with their rigid yet small steps and their arms flailing around like miniature toys."
But what I want to know, Mark, is why did you make that comment? Look at the top there.
Yes, it's to say Mark. Yeah.
What the fuck do you look for, you bastard?
Because
I mean, it's not like you're trying to manufacture your own drama for the sake of boiled piss, is it?
No, I think somebody said put the name Mark just so, Mark, you know you'd get the blame yet again.
Yeah.
Well, why not? I mean, me manufacturing.
He is responsible for everything else that's happened.
Yes, I am.
Gay marriage.
Yes, I'm responsible for gay marriage.
Fossils.
I'm not gay. If my boyfriend is.
Especially in Ireland, considering he wants to move over here and in with me.
Aidan, stop it. Don't give the secrets away. Right, the other thing I wanted to mention, now we've done gay marriage, moving away
Just
quickly
because
from
you don't want to tell Annabelle she's not going to be the bridesmaid, okay, bitch?
You're muted.
Nice.
The other thing was Tunisia.
I said I'm drunk. I can't be bothered to respond.
Oh, half a shandy. Tunisia, which is quite bad, obviously, and also today there was yet another family of 12 from the UK went on holiday to Bangladesh, stopped off in Turkey on the way back, and now they've absconded and gone to Syria. And this is a family of 12, aged from 75 down to the age of 1.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
The oldest two of them have one's got diabetes and the other one's got a heart problem. So how are they going to get treatment over in Syria? God only knows. God only knows. Right?
Dinner time round the table must have been fun.
What with the
Fucking 12 of them. Who are we going to blow up? Everybody! When are we going to blow them up? Soon!
Allah will sort it. Piss be upon him.
Yeah, I can see what you're writing, Jim, but it's too late. Sorry, no chance.
Bit of side chat going on there. Don't mention side chat. That will.
Oh yeah, that is definitely something to take care of.
Talk about the side chat.
What else have we got? Dodgy Dave, Catholics done that. Queen's Guard, Stonehenge, marriage equality, Tunisia. Yeah,
Tunisia. We haven't really done Tunisia, have we?
No.
We sort of said Tunisia, and then we stopped. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Awful. I mean, what did strike me today, funny enough, was that I saw on the news that the deceased have been brought home.
Not all of them, just
not all. Yeah, just and they brought them home on a military aircraft. Took them to RAF Bryce Norton, and they were carried off the plane by military personnel, as they have done with the fallen soldiers from Iraq or Afghanistan. And it struck me as to why would the British government do that? Why would they make it military in appearance? It's almost as if they were military personnel. Do you know what I mean?
I guess it's easier for them to mobilise a military aircraft than to try and organise a cargo aircraft to go and do it instead.
Yeah, but why take them to Bryce Norton? Yeah, they took them off one at a time, carried by military personnel, just the same as they have with our dead soldiers. And I just wondered whether that was a subliminal thing. Don't want to get into conspiracy theories.
I think people are conflating it to an attack against the British people, which it is. I mean, sorry, I said conflate. It's not conflating.
Is it though, or is it? I took it as rather an attack against Tunisia to kill off their tourist trade, so they can take the country once it's knackered.
Oh, I think that will be the effect.
I think that was their intention. I don't think it was. It was just to kill off the tourism, so that the Tunisian people that rely on it will turn to ISIS, or ISIS can move in once they've got no living.
The other thing that this is about as well is that the Greek. You have to take in the old Greeks. There's a whole Mediterranean spread going on there of bankruptcy, and I got absolutely ripped off for sterling because of these Greeky fuckers that fucking I have no fucking like for. But anyway, this is like Tunisia is like that will destroy their tourist trade. That will just shut their currency down, and effectively there'll be a walkover or a hellhole somewhere along the fucking Mediterranean coast that the Americans can make an excuse to come into.
Or not. I mean, the Americans seem to be staying away from a lot of these things, or at least
it won't be long.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I also don't know how you can combat these things, because you never know where these extremists are. This guy, they said they had some sort of tabs on, but they didn't have enough tabs on him to know who's going to go and shoot up loads of people on a beach. There you go. But they reckon that 30 British people died, mostly pensioners or older people. There were a few younger ones, but if you look, most of these people are older people.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's not. It's a very peaceful, tranquil place to go, and it's not like a beaver or anything. So it's very popular for the pensioners to go to. They can sit and read books and.
Well, I don't know if you've seen. There are videos, or there is a video that I've seen about which was some guy who was filming the events at the time, and he ran onto the beach when all this was happening for some reason with his camera strapped to his head. I suspect he's wearing a cam cap, and he videoed a whole load of stuff about it. And it's disturbing, but it's quite interesting to see where to see what was happening and how the place it took place, and it's a beautiful beach. Beautiful sandy beach. You can understand why people want to go there and relax and chill out. You don't go to a place to relax if you think you might get killed. So Aidan's completely right. It's probably going to completely fuck their tourist trade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Tunisian people don't want this.
No, not at all. They were trying to help when they form a line of people to try and ward the guy off, to keep him away.
Mm. But yeah, there you go.
There is one shout out, unless anyone's got anything else they want to mention about Tunisia in particular. No, okay. There's one shout out I wanted to make it to a British or English man today, which is Sir Nicholas Winton, who has been described as the English Schindler. He organised the rescue of 669 children destined for Nazi concentration camps, and he's died today, aged 106. And quite aptly, in some way, he's died on the anniversary of the departure of the train carrying the largest number of children, which was 241 in 1939. 106 years old, but yeah, what a man. When we've got a lot of sportsmen and women being described as heroes and that sort of thing, this guy probably was a true hero.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to get an extra second, apparently, a leap second.
Was that last night?
Was it last night or tonight? Oh, it was last night. We had an extra second. Oh, I missed it. Damn it.
That's why we were a bit late coming on.
That was it.
You're joking. I've saved mine for the show.
I believe, just to interject there, I believe that there is an update from Chaz with Wayne.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, I missed that. Sorry, Wayne.
Before you do that, can I just not confirm something that isn't. Oh God, I can't speak because I'm drunk. Somebody has mentioned in Google Plus that me and Mark are an item. No, we're not. Just so not. We're just really good friends. Just to make that very clear. Not that I wouldn't want to. Well, I could, and I might have done, but then I did. But it didn't happen, and it hasn't happened. So sorry. So Mark's looking really.
You were going to say something. Well, Mark, just let me ask you a quick question. How red are your cheeks right now?
They're fine. They're fine. Which ones? What, my arse cheeks or my?
That's the ones.
Mark, do you own a rabbit?
No, we had that for dinner earlier. I don't know how. Well. Next door had one, but.
Are you suggesting that I'm a bunny boiler? Oh, I swear, I'm going to really lose it in a minute.
Maybe that's what we're trying for.
Anyway.
I want an online Annabelle lose it.
Oh, believe me, I've lost it over the last couple of days.
We have our next message from Chaz, apparently, Wayne.
Hiya, Bold Piss. Look, trying to do all these good deeds, it's just too knackering. I'm just too lazy. I've decided that what I'm going to do now and for the future is go around the entire G Plus community and, basically ask permission for every response video I make. I think that will be easier. I spoke to somebody who was calling themselves Epi. They just huffed and walked away when I asked them would it be okay to call out JD Kane on his blatant hypocrisy. I went and spoke to Christopher Malty. Unfortunately, he wished not to comment or commit to anything, but to make sure that I knew that whatever it was, he was rightfully indignant of. I also spoke to somebody called D, and I said to her, what I was there for. She just started singing and, just disappeared off into the background. So it's been very, very tough to find, members of the G Plus command who will actually, give me permission to make any videos about anything ever, because reasons. Anyway, back to you guys in the studio.
Studio.
These are hopes.
Mark's front room.
Right.
At least not my back passage.
Yeah. Well, what can you say to that?
Well, you can say he's got red. You can say he's got red cheeks. That's what you can say.
You can say that. I refer anybody who's got any issues with that to go back to the first segment of this piss boilers.
It's all in good fun.
Is my mic active?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Sadly.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't get your attention to say there was another incoming message. Whatever I'd got the audio pipe through the other thingy, so I could broadcast it.
You mean it's not
It's certainly not potato vision.
You mean it wasn't spontaneous?
No,
Anyway.
there were voicemails that were incoming, but then I had to switch audio properties to get it streaming through the fucking Hangout.
Yes, of course.
Come on, Mark, get with it.
Can I insult ginger people now?
Oh, you can always insult ginger people. I mean, they're not.
Who do you want to insult?
No, just an article I saw. That was all.
This is a prejudice against the Irish.
They said
No, Scottish people are ginger too.
Who cares about them fuckers?
Yeah.
Before you go on, Mark, have we got any other urgent topics, because we're coming up at the end of the first hour?
All right. Shout out! I've got a shout out to Dave.
Yes.
Who kindly
Dave S. He also used to be the Global Atheism.
Yeah. Very intelligent young man who clearly is ultra intelligent, because he gave us a shout out on his last video and said that anyone that's with half a brain should be watching us.
That's interesting.
Sadly, most people with half a brain are.
Yeah. It's also quite interesting. We had another comment this week, and I generally can't remember who made it, saying that we'd put was it atheism back 50 years, and that we'd put British people back 150 years.
You remember who it was?
I think he's been conservative.
Yeah, I was looking for at least 500. Oh, cunt.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw my body, you would think I'd put humans back roughly about 35,000 years.
Have you got your pants on, Wayne?
No. I've got my pants on. Yeah, I have underwear on. I just have bare legs.
I can tell you that now. Shall I show you? He hasn't got his pants on. Do you want to see?
What?
Got shorts on.
Look. Live cam for Win. Oh, look at that.
Well, nobody can see that because you're talking, Aidan.
Instant hard on.
Well, it is. We are in the middle of a heat wave.
Yeah, it's very hot here today. I'm boiling hot.
I mean, I don't know if you can see right behind me, but like, I've got
telling Mark all day.
I've got a fan that's blowing directly at my back.
Where's your fan, Mark? Haven't you got a fan?
If you want to have that fan blowing on my back,
I thought you were his fan.
Yeah.
I am his #1 fan. Everyone knows this. Mark's #1 fan.
Absolutely, yeah.
I was going to say to Wayne, that's the only fan. Oh, yeah, Rizzler probably right now. Yeah.
No.
He loves.
Oh, leave Rizzler alone. He's one of the funniest people on the internet. He's just not allowed to be funny because of all the politically correct atheists out there.
Well, when I saw that G+ post from you about On My Way, I did think that you were off up to Lytham or whatever.
Oh, please!
Just to finish the shout-outs.
I mean, how desperate do you think I am, Wayne? Thank you very much.
I'm not desperate. Did I say you were desperate? And I have no idea.
That's the kind of implication that I would drive 500 miles for a shag. Yes, that is what you're saying.
Would you drive 500 miles for a shag?
Yeah, okay. So let's investigate that question. Anybody know a song about it?
I was just about to ask Annabelle how far it is from her house to here.
Exactly.
Well, has anybody ever heard any version of 500 miles?
No, please, Simon, stop. Please, stop. Thank you.
To get a shag with Martin Neuer.
Got to stop.
For fuck's sake.
You're
all jealous because all of you haven't been laid for years.
Annabelle.
I just haven't been laid by
That's the truth. Look, I mean, I know for a fact Mark hasn't. Jim certainly hasn't. Simon definitely hasn't. Wayne certainly hasn't.
Mark hasn't.
I have to say, Wendy is married, so she's probably getting a shag every night. Possibly not. And I could have one if I wanted.
And me, what sexual depravity?
Well, no, because you've got a girlfriend, Aidan, so you're probably getting laid. But the four of them are not getting laid. That's why they talk about it all the time.
Are you saying it doesn't count if you take it?
Huh?
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
I take an exception to that because I have been laid recently.
Oh, what? No, you don't lie. Oh, come on, you're just such a liar. Who's gonna screw you? Come on, let's be honest.
She's called Tiddles.
By recently, he means 2006.
Anyway, just to finish the shout out to Sty, just because he's a scouser. And I've shout out to Floyd FP specifically because I did like the way he took Shamos and Chrissy the Hillbilly apart.
No, Floyd did not take me apart.
You don't sound anything like Shamos, Wayne. You know that, right?
Annabelle fancies Shamos.
Annabelle, why are you in this thing?
Annabelle fancies Shamos.
Because I'm winding you guys up, and because Mark wanted me to come.
Sorry, Annabelle.
What did you say, Jim?
You're winding us up. Is that right?
No, well, yeah, I'm just giving you.
I don't think that Annabelle gets the concept of caricature.
Annabelle.
Right.
Wayne's getting upset now.
No, he's not. He's fine. Anyway.
Why are you here?
Annabelle, are you an Aspie? Have you got Asperger's? I just wondered because the way you take everything absolutely literally.
Because you don't ever take offence, do you?
No, it's
Ever.
not about offence. It's just about when I just do a silly shameless voice, and you think I'm trying to do it. Saying you realise that doesn't sound like him. It's just a silly fucking caricature.
Oh, you're the one having a paddy right now.
Anyway, no dissent on the show. Right. Anyway, we might be having a conspiracy special soon if we can get Commando to come on. That would be a giggle. Although he did, I probably told you this, but I suggested he come on. And he said, "Oh, I suppose it'll be an hour of you lot taking the piss out of me." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "All right then, I'll come on." Which I found.
I keep getting told by certain people that he's got a valid points, and I just would like to know what they are.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, Commando.
No.
Yeah.
Who's been telling you this?
Well, actually, it's usually Christians, believe it or not.
Oh, right. Because they're experts on science as a rule.
I think Eve quite likes him. I mean, oh God, sorry, Eve, I didn't mean it like that. What I mean is she's trying to get into his head and understand what the hell's going on, but I don't think that's fucking possible.
There's plenty of room in his fucking head, that's for sure.
Yeah, I see. You have more luck trying to get in his pants, I think.
I'll tell you what though, with Commando, he must be if he's the sort of person who goes in the pub, that pub must be uproar.
I suspect he doesn't go in the pub way.
I would drink in pubs more if there was somebody like Commando speaking in every pub.
Have you seen how Gus deals with him? Gus deals with him really well. He says, yeah, your stories are brilliant. They're so good. You should write a book. You'd make a killing. Forget Harry Potter. Your ideas are just... And so that's the way he deals with him. And Commando, being slightly strange, let's call it that, actually thinks that he's being serious. So... Wait for it. Any minute now. A book by Commando. I speak to Talking with Elves.
I've got a sneaking suspicion that Commando doesn't get out that much.
No.
But when you think about it, is there any difference between talking to elves and talking to God? And plenty of people make books about that.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, no difference.
It's a good point.
Good
I mean,
point.
that is the point.
The problem with Commando... Sorry, go on.
Is that actually the book's subtitle, Dealing with Dwarves and Other Douchebags.
The problem with Commando is that if you do start to dig deep into what he actually believes, he just can't explain it. And it's difficult to explain. It's difficult to explain. That's my Yorkshire accent, by the way.
But that again is very similar to theology.
Not fucking bad, lass.
You ask people about their theology, and they say exactly the same sort of thing. It's difficult to explain. It's subjective. Blah 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 blah. It's exactly the same sort of stuff. That there is really no difference, I don't think, between belief in elves and beliefs in God.
The fellow with Commando, there's a conspiracy, a high-grade, weapons-grade conspiracy theorist. Everything is a false flag, and you know that he thinks. I don't know, Jim. Do you know Clockwork? Have you dealt with him?
Clockwork.
Yeah. Oh well, what do you call him now? What's he called now?
Commando.
Commando.
I've seen him in a couple of hangouts, but
what is it? That the Earth is inside out, and that the sky is inside the Earth. I have no idea what he's talking about half the time.
No, I remember a hangout with Mark was in and listening to it, and Mark was pointing out that you can climb to the top of a high mountain and you can see the curvature of the Earth. Okay, it's not going to be the hill he mentioned just outside of Manchester, but you go up to a high mountain in the Himalayas or something, you can do that quite easily. You can see the curvature of the Earth from a fucking aeroplane.
I was about to say, when you fly across the Arctic, when there's a flight that goes from New York to Hong Kong, and it goes up to about 42,000 feet. You can and then you watch the sun go down, and half an hour later you watch it come up, and you can see it coming up on the curve.
The point is that there are some ideas which are so stupid they should be abandoned. This is one of them. The idea of there being a God is another one of them.
Just to mention also that, so we might have a conspiracy special. There might also be a trolls special. So we hope that perhaps Rizzler and some other
TSR
might come on, and also
and the disclaimer comes with that. If we have a troll special or a conspiracy special, any opinions expressed by those guests are not necessarily the opinions of the management of the Boiled Piss channel.
Indeed.
Management.
What's happened to us? We've got management and a studio in the space of a fucking hour.
I know. Well,
And we
to be
were
honest-
trying not to take ourselves too seriously.
Well, to be honest with you, Jim and Mark, if channels like the Breakfast Club and the New Covenant Group can be fucking pompous fucking arseholes, then so can we.
Next week, I'm not talking to you cunts until you spoke to my agent, so fuck off.
Yeah, I want 15. I want 15%.
50% of what?
The revenues from this
What
channel.
revenues? What are you talking about?
Or,
Yeah.
or was I
15% of
supposed-
nothing is nothing.
Was I supposed to
You work-
monetize
you work-
it?
Shut up, Wendy.
You're worth every penny.
A bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken and
Well,
half a can of lager.
Yeah, and a blowjob.
And a packet of
And
crisps.
we're still
What's
waiting for Andy.
50% of a blowjob?
Andy Jack promised to sponsor us a few weeks ago, and he hasn't come up with the cash yet.
By the way,
where is that
a completely off-topic thing, but just to show something I just mentioned. I mentioned about the Breakfast Club being a YouTube channel. Anybody who sees Steve Shive's things on the Breakfast Club channel, the way he starts his shows, and he's got his fucking big coffee mug, and he'll go, I'll just use my beer glass. Hey, Aussie beer glass. And he'll go,
I can't see you, Wayne. I can only see your avatar.
well,
I
that's
just
your
want to say that,
Um,
that a minute ago we had 41 people watching. Cliff has come on, and now we've got 34 people watching. Just
Oh,
saying.
Hello, Cliff. And also,
Are you saying that Cliff was watching with 6 channels?
I reckon he was.
you mentioned Steve Shives, Wayne. I'm talking of smug twats. And Nate
Yeah,
Cunningham.
it's the way. Sorry, it's the way he takes this swig of coffee out this mug and then goes, first coffee of the day, and I'm like, fuck off, you smug cunt.
Talking of smug cunts, Nate Cunningham was talking earlier to 13 Heathens when he mentioned he's not a fundy,
Oh,
but he does believe the Bible has no errors in it.
oh God.
But he's not a
And-
fundy.
Is he completely detached from
Hang on,
reality? or what?
hang on. And then Floyd said that he would be happy to have a hangout where he explained where all the errors are in the Bible, and I said to Floyd that we'd be happy to host that discussion.
Mark, you've missed something.
What?
He believes in the rapture.
Yes, and the rapture. Yeah, it's worth watching because he keeps saying he's not funny, but he believes in the rapture and Adam and Eve, and the Bible is inerrant, and God did everything, and yeah. Other than that, he's not funny.
I loved his opening statement. All right, which was basically, there's no conflict because the Bible doesn't really talk about science. So science and the Bible don't. So the Bible's inerrant for that reason. And then he got pressed on it, and of course he went, well, apart from Adam and Eve, which is literal.
And there's a lot of things in
Yeah,
the Bible.
that's not science.
Simon,
And as
Simon,
the meme said earlier, sorry.
quick. There's a lot of things in the Bible, Simon, in a lot of places.
Some of
even
them are
sucky
quite
ones.
really okay. I understand now.
I mean, the thing is he fucking stupid?
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the thing is that you can read two gospels and they contradict each other. So it is impossible the Bible is entirely correct. It is impossible to be that. So how the fuck can you go on and then say it's completely inerrant? He's a fucking moron, isn't he?
Yep.
Correct.
I basically think there isn't that much difference. I don't think you can get a fag paper between Seamus and Nate Cunningham in terms
Really?
of
What made me laugh even more
I
was
did
They
not
wouldn't want the paper
know
from a
that.
fag.
in his honour, 13 actually wore a flat cap, which really made me laugh.
Yeah, so I've only seen the thumbnail for that. That was hilarious.
How are you, Sidey? All right?
Oh, not too bad. Sweating like a priest in a play school. It's hot in here.
Oh, not much.
Oh, well, that's the Catholic switched off then.
To be fair, I think they switched off about an hour ago.
I don't think they even switched on.
Can I just bring out something interesting? You were talking about
doubt
having a go at
We'll be the
ginger
judge of
people.
that. We'll be the judge of that.
Sorry.
You
go on,
were
Cliff.
talking about having a go at ginger people.
Yeah.
Interesting ginger fact for you. That Roman soldiers, they thought that, dyeing your hair or changing the colour of your hair so it was sort of red hair, they thought that was a really cool thing to do. And, of course, in the days before they had, hair dyes and things like that, they used to use urine.
Of course they did.
So what? It's like if you use urine in your hair, it turns it ginger?
Yeah.
Jason
I would've
Jason
thought it would
Jason
be.
Well, I'm
should
going to
be
try that.
Jason ought to be bright fucking red by now then.
Although I've got to say that the best ginger ever was that like afro done in henna that Harvey Keitel had in The Last Temptation of Christ. That was absolutely epic. That were.
Yeah,
Well,
but
there is that rather near to the knuckle joke. I'm going to say it anyway, where the woman goes into hospital to have a child, and rather difficult birth, and she has to be sedated, and she wakes up, and the doctor says to her, "I'm afraid there's good news and bad news, madam." And she said, "Well, what's the bad news?" She said, "I'm afraid your baby was born with ginger hair." She said, "Well, what's the good news?" The doctor said, "Oh, it's dead."
Oh, damn,
I did warn you. It's an old joke.
damn.
well, like I said, the fun insult is, you know, if you have ginger people, you know, someone ginger hair and you want to make fun of them, you just sort of go, "Can anyone smell wee wee?"
Yeah, ginger lock, smelly box.
Very subjective.
There is an article that mentions gingers. It said that the ginger hair people have been told in the UK not to even think about going near a window, let alone stepping out of the house in the next couple of days. Temperatures are set to reach levels that could wipe out Madame Tussauds' population, meaning that the more pale and freckly people among us in the UK are particularly high risk. Seriously, just ring in sick, said a doctor. A skin and care specialist. Tell them you've got whatever bugs going around, if you're a woman, say you've got women's problems, no one will dare question that one. I myself have been cursed with 2 ginger children, said the doctor, but I'm not letting them out of their rooms. If they even set foot outside, they're liable to burst into flames. Surprisingly little concern has been shown for tennis player Andy Murray, who, whilst not being a full ginger, is at the very least Scottish and therefore a similar risk category.
Oh, ginger. I got to say, I've got no problem with ginger people, but I really, really hate ginger cats. I've had 2 ginger cats, and they've both been fucking bitches. I hated them.
Yeah, but that's because you were a horrible owner.
Probably.
Yeah, probably tried to fuck them too much.
That's probably why they ran away.
It was always after the pussy.
Yeah, I'm prickly and I live in Manchester where there's not much sun anyway. I'm just big danger time for me.
Yeah.
I know people are going to say, when a seminate's come out, I know people say, well, you'll fuck anything anyway, but I must admit I am quite partial to red-headed ladies.
I'll second that.
So, I want to talk...
Is that because they're the only ones left, Wayne?
Hmm?
Is that because they're the only ones left?
No, I love that. I love that alabaster skin.
With green eyes. Eh? With green eyes.
So did Jimmy Savile.
Know what I mean? Know what I mean?
Don't start on Jimmy Savile. There's nothing wrong with him. When I was 7, he fixed it for me to milk a cow blindfolded. Don't go picking on him. Not having it.
I just want to talk about Andy Jack. Because you mentioned it earlier on.
Is that still a thing?
Well, it's more the idea that apparently I'm a violent person, because I was on the show last week, and apparently
I'm a violent person.
Well, I'm a violent person because if I was attacked, I would defend myself. Except for the fact that didn't Andy Jack sort of make this suggestion because you made fun of his eBay item that you knew his address, and that meant that you probably chuck a brick through his window. And so the response to that paranoia was, if you come round my place, you'll have to go through me and my shit brickhouse son and his big bodybuilder-looking mate.
As in all cases,
but that's going to be walking away.
As in all cases,
Cliff, you're expecting logic.
No, so I don't. What you have to do is you have to go back to first principles, right?
Yeah.
Andy did not call you, did not have a go at Cliff because of anything that that Cliff did, or that we did in respect to CamCap, right? It all goes back that Andy said something about Cliff because me and Mark ridiculed Dodgy Dave. It all goes back to first principles.
So basically what we're saying is you are the fonts of all evil.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we knew that anyway.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
get blamed for fucking everything.
That is very true.
Can I get that font of all evil for my computer? Because I think that would probably look good on on
It's a
memes.
true type font.
Yeah.
All you got to do to get that font is stick your finger up your ass and wipe it all over the monitor screen.
You said that was a degree of experience there, Wayne.
And what was the thing? Andy Jack had a habit of sniffing his fingers. Fuck knows what he was doing when they're off camera. I have no idea.
He's probably sniffing the rest of the cocaine off them.
Well, he needs cocaine to dance like that anyway.
It was probably prostitute use.
His nose-picking habit is far worse than anything I've ever seen.
I think his record for one hangout was 5 bogeys.
You've led a sheltered life, Annabelle.
Far worse than anything you've ever seen. Annabelle, you need to get out more.
I close, me. I've led a sheltered
Sorry,
life.
what were you saying, Annabelle?
I was saying that his nose picking is, it's disgusting. I don't understand why he would sit there and pick his nose and eat it in front of, all these people. Well, all 5 viewers that he gets on a regular basis.
You obviously weren't looking at the screen while I was doing it. I was pretending to have my nose like right up to the knuckles.
Yeah, but I can see your avatar. I can't see you, Cliff.
I've just self-censored myself. It's terrible. I've not had to do that before.
Well, you don't do that in private, though, do you?
No, we're not in private.
Right, I should put the link out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 space. I'll put the link out generally. All those that asked for an invite. So we've had no detractors want to come in and talk about the disclaimer.
No, of course not.
I do want to mention something else. Andy Jack had a go at you, Mark, because apparently it's not a light at the end of the tunnel if it's downstairs.
Of course not.
It is if the tunnel's fucking going downhill.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He was trying to say that. He was trying to say that because it was downstairs, and you were saying it was a light at the end. Did you not see it?
Yeah, what I meant was it was a light, not the light at the end of the tunnel, just a light at the end of the tunnel, because obviously the camera would have had a flash on it, or they were using a torch. Otherwise, it would have been very dark.
And the thing is that he hasn't been there, right?
Mm.
So he's accepting the word of Dodgy Dave, who is a proven liar.
Yeah, and he's accepting the terrible photos.
Yeah.
And not in the quality that we requested.
There's something very wrong with Andy Jack. I don't know whether he's just mentally retarded or he's
a
just...
Christian.
Yeah, okay. I can't say, if I say that, I get into trouble. Honestly, it's like...
Yeah, but Annabelle,
Go on, you're on
people,
boiled piss.
Annabelle, there are certain people who can say anything and they'll get into trouble.
Yeah, well, that's me. So I might as well say it then. I said to something the other day that most Christians, Aiden, most Christians in this group that we're all in are, stupid.
Yes. Yeah.
And I got.
Well, I wouldn't say that. What I would say, Annabelle, is they've all got a fatal flaw. And that fatal flaw is just that enough.
I think she missed that.
Yeah, I think it went right over my little blonde head.
Well, there were no behind it. I'm just saying it's like they go through a lot, they function, but they've got this fucktardio.
What did you call it? Fucktardio? What?
I don't know.
Fucktardism.
Fucktardyism. Okay, all right, yeah. I just think it's sad. I think a lot of them use it as a crutch, personally.
Oh yeah.
Most of them, actually.
I think it is on a serious point here. I don't think that all Christians are stupid.
No, certainly not.
I think there are some very intelligent, but I think
there aren't any in this group, that's for sure.
I would like to ask a question to everybody on the panel. Right? In real life, in public, I know Cider knows some Christians because he does the gospel singing. Yeah. But that's irrelevant, but at least it built on this question. And that's, when somebody tells you face to face that they are a Christian, I want you to tell me, yes or no, do you really take them seriously after that point onwards?
No.
Depends.
Not really.
Depends.
Not really.
Depends on what I'm taking them seriously on.
Well, I just think my reaction to people that I know, and I know so few, so it's very difficult, is that I just want to think, I just can't continue a conversation, really. I just feel suddenly a wall's gone up for me.
You see,
Perhaps that's a flaw on my part.
Let me tell you mine. Let me tell you where I'm going from it. I know two people that identify as, well, one identifies as Christian, one I don't know what he is. My friend's wife, she identifies as a Christian. Apparently her father is quite evangelical. But my mate's wife, she will probably say, yeah, believe in Jesus, yeah, I believe in heaven, and that's about as far as it goes, right?
I don't mind those people.
Now the other guy is the weirdest thing about this one is actually a minister. He actually goes by the name of the Reverend because he actually does a lot of biker. He's a biker and he conducts a lot of biker funerals. He's very popular in that market.
I think I've heard of that guy.
Well, there might be a few at it. This is a guy from Northern Ireland and he's based in Sheffield.
Right.
David, I can't remember his surname. Absolutely fantastic bloke. But here's the thing: most of the services for bikers are completely secular. There's not a skerrit of a mention of God in there, because most bikers are either completely like atheists or pagans of some kind. But here's the thing: even when I've spoken to him, I don't get the impression that the guy's religious. I don't get the impression that this minister is actually religious. Now, ain't that funny? It's just not a vibe I get from him.
Yeah. I've always, well, not always, but very often thought that some of the people of all the Christians that I've met, the ones that are least eager to evangelize are Anglican priests.
Yeah.
It's a weird dynamic, and I think it's just because the Anglican denomination is kind of one God at most. It's very sort of lukewarm.
I mean, also one reason, Wayne, is this guy might, I mean, if he's doing a lot of biker weddings, that quite a few are secular, he's probably not wanting to
funerals.
And funerals. He's probably not wanting to go up to you and go, "Can I speak to you about Jesus Christ, please?"
Yeah.
Put it this way: if the biker's family wants it, that's what they get. If they want a religious,
of course,
that's what they get.
What about the biker that died, though? What about what he wants?
Well,
yeah, but obviously
at that point, you would hope that it would play in.
Yeah. Maybe some Steppenwolf or something.
Going back to your question about whether when I find out someone's a Christian, whether I take them seriously, it really does depend on what shade of Christianity where they're coming from. It also depends on what subject we're talking about, and it also depends on how well I know the person, and how their faith plays into their personal life or it doesn't. There's like some of the gospel singers that I sing with. Some of them on the surface appear quite evangelical, but you actually talk to them and they're incredibly laid back. They're not bothered. That they're bothered in the sense that they would like me to be on their team, but they're not in my face about it at all. So I think you really do sometimes need a bit more depth.
Of course.
To pass judgment.
I kind of treat them like they're, it's like when somebody goes to me a Christian, it's like I've been talking to them for a while, getting to know them, and I think, oh, this person's really nice, and then they drop the Christian bomb. And to me, it's like, you've been at a disco and you've got a little bit drunk, you've chatted up some girl, and you've gone, yeah, I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And when you wake up the next morning, you go, oh, fuck, she was a Christian.
Yeah.
It's like that. Oh, fuck, she was, oh, God, yeah, I was pissed. Better not,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are instances of that. When my atheism is of a more militant mood, I think my reaction tends to be a sort of, oh, never mind, oh dear. It's one of disappointment rather than anything else. Because I think,
Yeah, I
tell
think
you what,
that's
because
how
I mean,
that's how I come from it. I think, to be honest with you, Side.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's a disappointment. Is that you can think very highly of a person, and you can think that this is a sane, rational person, and then all of a sudden they drop this belief bomb on you, and it's like, oh right, well there's this illogical, mad part of your personality as well, and that doesn't make him a worse person.
No.
It does, but it does make me wonder about the things that I hold dear. The intellectual integrity and the honesty and the being prepared to be a critical thinker. I think.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think the best way I can sum up my disappointment is when somebody at a gospel rehearsal or at a concert will hand up all this praise to God because God is wonderful and God's allowed me to do this thing and God allows me to do this and God is great because He gives me this, and I think, no, you did that.
Yeah.
You did that. There are
a couple of things that really bug me about theological belief, and one of them is giving praise to something else other than yourself for the achievements you have, and the other thing is the way that it allows people to, for example, pray for something, and it allows them to think that they're doing something.
Yes.
People pray and they think, I'm going to pray for the victims of this earthquake. Oh, I'll sit there and pray. They walk away thinking, yeah, I've done a good thing. I've actually helped these people, and it's bollocks. They've done nothing.
Yeah. I mean, my personal way is I just treat people how they treat me. Yeah. So I can have good conversations with people, and I see someone being religious in the same way as, I may not agree with someone's politics or, something of a similar nature. So I don't, for example, I'm good friends with Shani, okay, but we don't agree on the religion stuff. But there's lots of other things we agree on.
I will say something. I'll make an analogy. In fact, it's quite a good one actually.
He even does say so himself.
It is because it's happened this week on G+. I think it's the same reaction when somebody's like. You can be a Christian, and you can, put it this way: if Christianity stopped people functioning, then America would be a failed regime. But America's a fantastically successful country, and look how many of them are creationists. So it shows that people function. But the thing is, it's like when somebody says, when you'll be talking to somebody, oh yes, I believe in the Lord. It's I experience the exact same feeling as when another person says, oh yes, Florence out of Florence and the Machine is a great singer. I'm like, really?
She is a redhead though, Wayne.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't want to know, mate. What is heard can never be unheard.
I don't mind Florence and the Machine actually.
It's like nails down a blackboard.
So what are you talking about? I've got absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Probably just as well.
Yeah.
I literally have not the faintest idea.
It was such a great analogy.
Well, it is if you were listening.
Is Florence and the Machine some sort of is a YouTube character? Or?
No, she's a singer in a band, and they all go, "Oh, she's got such an amazing, powerful voice." When her voice is actually fucking shit. It's uncontrolled, bellowy, screechy, and
it's raw.
Basically, somebody blocked me on G+ this week for saying that.
It's raw. What, the guy with the beard in America?
No.
And the straw that brought the camel's back was when I said, look, if you want power with control, listen to some Pat Benatar, Pink, or Kelly Clarkson. And then they blocked me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Hell, did you just say
Kelly Clarkson and Pink in one sentence?
Yeah, I tell you.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
Full marks to Wayne for that. I know who those people are. Fucking hell.
The other one you were saying, something Jim was saying about sort of take credit for your own things, not give it to God kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The one that really annoys me, I've heard it, the American version of Alcoholics Anonymous, and you got to put it in a higher power.
Yeah.
You've got to give everything to your higher power. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Is that not true in the UK as well?
I don't know because I don't know. I'm not alcoholic and I've never been to one, but I've heard it about American.
I tell you what, you could do some research for us, Cliff, by becoming alcoholic and doing some inside piss boilers research.
On that note, I'm going to get a cider.
I think cider should do this work.
Yeah, we've already got someone on the case, so to speak.
I've got a great idea.
Whoa. Hang on.
No, stop. I've got a great idea. I'm going to get rid of that science shit.
This is one of the things that's annoyed me recently with all this recent controversy we've been having about criticism of people that we're allowed to criticise.
Why do we sell that? Why did we send Annabelle before she gets back? Because she's already declared she's drunk. Suggests she gets drunk all the time, so she's perfect for the job. It's a good job she's not here.
Yeah, she'd probably give you nasty eyes and the.
No, she'd probably make Jim suffer for it.
She probably would. Blame me. But no, I was going to say I've got into a bit of trouble this last few weeks about certain comments I've made. Which is not unusual. I don't hold back from what I think. And it seems to be that the prevailing view within the community, in quotation marks, is that the targets for people's comments should be the fundamentalists. The really extreme end of religious belief. And I'm afraid that doesn't interest me anymore.
No.
It used to interest me, but then I realised that most of the people, the people like Burns and G-Man and Josh Shelley, and these people are actually intellectually inadequate. They are the thickies. So okay, it's not surprising that stupid people believe stupid things. So my interest nowadays is more about why do intelligent people believe stupid things? Why do people that are trained in science believe anti-scientific things? And that's why I think I've got into a lot of trouble, because people don't like the idea that I'm criticising people other than
and also, Jim, to remove the last vestiges of it from British society, such as prayer in schools, in ordinary schools. Like as I say, it's a legal requirement, isn't it?
Worship. Prayer, communal act of worship in states. Requirement.
Can I just ask can I pick the panel's brains on this? The current panel. Obviously, Wendy won't be able to comment on this.
Why not?
Because she's not British. She's not British. She won't have an idea. I don't think she'll have an idea on this question.
She's Canadian and nearly British, aren't they?
Yeah, but I still even so.
Just a little lower. That's all.
What are the things that religion still affects in Britain today?
Education.
Yes.
Education.
In other words, I'm an anti-theist.
Housing.
Justify my anti-theism in this country by saying, what are we fighting against? What are we still fighting against in this country?
You want me to go there?
Okay, right, yeah.
That's a different question. We can start with fucking education, the fact that there's compulsory worship in schools at the moment. We can then go on to say that there are certain bishops in the House of Lords who control or have a say in how the democratic process is run. We can then talk about how institutions like the Church of England, not so much, but the Catholic Church, have been against certain equality issues that have happened recently. I mean, there is literally, to pretend for a second that these institutions or these religious beliefs do not have any effect.
You mentioned about equality issues about the churches, but aren't they just internal issues? Do we actually give a fuck? There are
big Catholic bishops, for example, have gone out and said about how the gay marriage thing in the UK that happened a while back.
But in terms of gay vicars and gay female thingies and that, I couldn't give a fuck because I don't believe in any of them.
Yeah, no. I think the point about equal rights and things like that, the opposition to LGBT rights and things like that is entirely faith-based, as far as I can make out.
Yeah. That's what I'm going at. That's
and the other thing is I may be mistaken here, but are being a vicar or being a priest, are they jobs?
Yes.
So why are they not subject to the same anti-discrimination laws as every other fucking job? Why should a Catholic a Catholic priest's job be only open to male people? If I did that, if I had a business and I said I want a job that's only open to male people, I'm going to offer a job that's only open to male people. That's illegal, and quite rightly so. Why is it okay if you're Catholic? That's okay.
I don't know how the Catholic remuneration system is set up, but I do know, based on a conversation that my mother had with the village vicar a few years ago, that is actually like a salaried position.
Yes, I believe that's the case with vicars, and probably the same with imams at mosques and all those other things. They are salaried positions. That there are people being paid for a service that they provide. They should be. They should not be exempt from laws that apply to everybody else simply because they have an imaginary friend. I just think that's completely wrong.
The thing is, there are certain. I get what I know what you're saying, but there are certain institutions that are discriminatory in that way that I'm perfectly happy to let them be discriminatory in that way in order for them to show themselves up. It was like, do you remember a few years ago when there was I think somebody actually took the BNP to court. It was an Asian gentleman who took the BNP to court because he wanted to be a member on principle of non-discrimination to fuck with the BNP. I can't remember how the case panned out. But I was kind of like thinking, no, actually, it's legally I take your point, but it actually serves your argument much better if it's a whites-only party because everyone can see how fucking racist they are.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from.
Sorry, Jim, but did it turn out? Didn't it turn out that this guy who wanted to be a part of the BNP or something or other, was he an Asian who hated militant Muslims or something?
I can't remember. I have a feeling he was going purely as a sort of legal test, I suppose, but I can't. But I could be wrong.
Maybe. Hang on. Maybe, but I do know that there are people who they have welcomed in because of how anti-Muslim they were. I think there may have been some Indian Sikhs. Yes. They may have been Sikhs and they welcomed them in.
Let Simon talk.
Yeah, go on, Simon.
I believe that they actually did have to change their entry policy to allow everyone to join. Yeah, no, the BNP.
I thought you meant Catholics. They've got a specific entry policy, but I think they're maroon.
Is it from behind, Mark?
I've no idea.
Behind and slightly higher up than usual.
Ask a Catholic. That's a good show. We'll try that one. No, I think Catholic remuneration is probably a bag of condoms and a 9-year-old, as far as I know.
And a couple of lollipops.
Yeah. That's like the priest that was in the confession box and didn't have on his list blowjobs when someone came in for confession. So he asked the choir boy that was passing, what did Father O'Malley normally give for a blowjob? I think the answer was a Kit Kat.
This again, sorry to be serious. We're a light-hearted show. We're not being quite so light-hearted as normal. But the thing that really annoyed me about Anne Widdecombe was she was an Anglican, or she was a Church of England follower, and she converted to Catholicism after they allowed, on the basis of them allowing female priests in the Anglican Church. Yeah. This is a woman who has benefited from the emancipation of other women to get where she is in politics, and yet she then goes and joins a organisation which is anti all the things which helped herself out. You know, it's so
fucking Tories.
I mean, I used to have a soft spot for Anne Widdecombe. I never agreed with the politics, but I quite liked her because she was the same way as I quite like Boris Johnson.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're these buffoon-type people that you can
quite
what
you got to remember about
how dim they are. Not dim's not the right word, but buffoonish is the right word.
Do you remember the fast show? You know, the old guy with the sherry said, I was very, very drunk. That's Boris Johnson when he's old, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's exactly Boris Johnson.
That is definitely Boris.
But chaps, what you got to remember
that's how I want to be.
Jim, what you got to remember about Anne Widdecombe is she is a frustrated virgin.
Yes.
Well, she has never actually said that, has she?
Yeah.
That's just been implied, has she?
No, she's never
she said that.
touched.
No, she said that.
I think she is a virgin, yeah, and I mean, it's quite understandable, really, let's be honest.
I was going to say that.
Are you saying she's
and
ugly?
Also, another point I have to make, when Jim sounded almost apologetic. that we're not being light-hearted. But the thing is, the show is called Boil Piss. That's for the people in this show to regale the audience with the things that boil their piss.
And we all know how much you love to slag off the Catholic Church.
Yeah, why not?
Well, I
Fuck 'em.
don't,
Right.
I don't think it's just the Catholic Church. I think we slag off things that annoy us, and I happen to be particularly annoyed with the Catholic Church.
The thing is with Widdicombe, I kind of share your frustrations with her in terms of female emancipation and her total hypocrisy on that front. But at the same time, I kind of grudgingly admire her sticking to her religious principles and moving as soon as C of E allowed women priests or whatever it was.
Well,
But
I think
are
there was some political sway in terms of the position in the House of Commons as well.
Right. Okay.
Apart from that, I would say if we've put atheism back 50 years, and William becoming a Catholic has put atheism forward about 200.
Yeah.
And if you think our piss is boiled, we may have a special guest coming on the show soon that has probably more boiled piss than. Shall I reveal who the guest is?
No. I think we keep that one.
Here, I'm already here. There's no.
Yeah, Blue's here. And he knows exactly who Anna Widdicombe is. No, I know what you mean, Cider, when you're talking about sticking to principles, but surely there comes a point when you have principles and then you have to review them.
Oh yeah, they're shit principles.
Yeah,
they're shit principles.
And is it admirable to follow your principles despite everything, or is it more admirable to say, okay, these principles are wrong, and I will adjust them dependent on reality or dependent on the advantages I've seen? Now, with Anne Widdicombe, I think she's a very principled woman. Don't get me wrong. I think she's very principled. She sticks by what she believes. The problem is that what she believes is exactly she's anti exactly the same things that have benefited her.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, if it was up to Anne Widdicombe, she would never have been a politician in the first place. No one would ever heard of her if we followed the same chain of thought that she's going down.
Yeah. I could make a line here about people on the right going against their own self-interest. But I won't. Oops, I just did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Going back. Who set atheism back 50 years? All of you guys?
Yeah. I'm not going to say who said that, but I can assure you it was some tosser.
Yes, you fucking are.
Cracking too right, my son.
Put it this way, it's somebody who Blue doesn't like.
All right.
Oh, that's just about everybody, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's difficult.
That's not fair. That's not fair. There's so many people I like. Come on.
I think I feel a tune.
It was a particularly stupid comment I saw made this week.
That's not hard to find.
No, it's not. Enough said. I'll tell you what, Blue. Tomorrow morning when I get up, I will link the comment to you because it's quite.
The reason why we're not saying is because we just do not want to give this absolute anus any oxygen of publicity.
I understand completely. Let's move on. I'm sorry to bring us back.
No, it's quite alright, Blue. It's quite alright.
Fucking septics.
Watch it. Just watch it, man.
But maybe that's a discussion we can have. Are we, by coming on here and doing our Boil Piss show, and stating our opinions and being outside of the hug-atheist mould, shall we say, are we setting anybody back?
No, and let's be clear. I don't think we're necessarily entirely out of the hug-atheist mold. There are moments when, you don't have to, go all out, war with every theist. But there comes a time where you do just have to say, no, that's crap.
The thing is, Cider, is we've never wanted to wage war with every theist. All we've set out to do is have the freedom of speech to criticise bad religious thought whenever and wherever it occurs.
That's right.
Without fear of clicks, dog piles, disingenuous covering,
narrative changing.
Yeah, things like that.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, so yeah, it's basically yeah, if you've got a problem with us, don't snark it over G+.
Call the 18.
Request a link, second hour of Boiled Piss.
I don't think people have any problem in telling any of us in this room what they think of us. I certainly don't. People don't hold back with me, that's for sure.
Yeah,
they wouldn't say it in a hangout quite often.
Yeah, they do.
They'll go to.
You see, that's Annabelle. That's why I'm more honest than these people, because I say it to your face.
Yeah, but I know that you're just pretending because you fancy me and you're just like playing, like you're trying to pull my hair like in the playground.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, it is right.
I've gone through about 5 hankies this evening.
Yeah.
I don't bother.
When you say gone through, do you mean actually gone through them?
I mean penetrated.
You're going a bit strong there.
Mark didn't need a hanky.
No, he had the perfect receptacle.
Was it a cum cat?
If only I'd have bought a cat cam first. I could have streamed it live.
Holy shit.
Mark said to me, I said, well, tell him that I'm giving you a blowjob. He said, no. He said, I'll get flagged. I went, I'm not giving you a blowjob, Mark.
Oh, dear.
You never know. Maybe later when you're drunker. It might work then.
Another half a shandy. I'll be away.
That's the kind of shit that works, though, isn't it?
Oh, wow. Hey, Jake, I like this.
What we're pretty much
Jake
saying...
Burns doesn't like this.
What?
Jason Burns doesn't like it.
Jason
doesn't like anything.
Jason won't like our show. It's got the word piss in it.
Has he actually been making videos about atheists, or is it all about religion at the moment?
He made 8 today. I haven't looked through all of them. There are a couple. Yeah, he gave a couple digs to us, sure.
Okay, but he hasn't done anything, incendiary for quite some time, has he?
He hasn't said Aaron Ra ran from debate or all atheists are liars or anything like that, no.
Okay. There was some rumour going around that he had a woman in his life. Was that true, Blake?
No.
Social worker.
That's a good one.
Are you counting his mother?
There's a point I would like to say is
I'm sorry. That was not in the best of taste, but it is called boiled piss.
Yeah, it's probably true.
I would like to go back to a point I was making a few minutes ago. Not that I got interrupted or anything. It's just that I didn't think to say this. We'll go next, and there's an absolute demonstration of hypocrisy that takes place here in this corner of the intertubes, and that's the shit that such as Boiled Piss get for their opinions on all religion, rather than keeping it to the fundies, as seems to be the prescribed modus operandi. So if we criticise all religion, we are some sort of strident douchebags.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, strident being the word.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think.
Whoa.
Whoa. Fucking hell, I thought G-Man had come in.
Well, let me get this out.
Next thing you know, be asking us a question.
As Brian Glover said in American Werewolf in London, shut up, woman, and let me speak.
Oh! Don't call Cliff Jumper a woman. That's not very
No,
nice.
it's a fucking joke, Annabelle, for fuck's sake.
Hang on a sec. I was joking as well. And that
Jesus, I'm trying to make a point, Annabelle.
Too late.
Right. So these strident.
Come on, then. Get on with it.
These, for fuck's sake. These strident douchebags that they like to label and demonise, right? And yet, Matt Dillahunty, Aaron Ra, and such like, right, who make the same blanket statements about all religion, not just about fundies, and not a fucking word is said about them being strident douchebags.
Yeah. Now, these are the people who will criticise people for being strident yet idolise Hitchens.
Yeah.
Yeah, too right.
And a point I've said many times before is that if they want to demonise a commoner garden anti-theist, then they are basically pissing on the grave of Hitchens.
Yeah, exactly.
I was born in the same hospital as Christopher Hitchens.
Yeah.
And there the comparison ends.
And one other point I'd like to raise, one tiny little postscript on the end of this, right? They say...
Oh, God, Cider, that's sick.
Sorry, man, I'm sorry.
Hang on, Cider.
Just got that. That's fucking horrible.
Well, Mark's halfway there.
It's not often I get offended. That was one of those times.
I didn't hear that.
I said there the comparison ends between me and Hitchens being born in the same hospital, and Cider said, "Well, you've got no hair."
Oh, right, good one. Right, last point on the subject. Right, so these people go on about you can't. It's wrong and douchey to criticise moderates, and I'm not on about the theists now. I'm on about the people who are their ball cuppers, the hugger theist brigade, right? They will say, no, it's all about the fundies. No, don't attack the moderates.
Yeah.
And these
I've said many times, we are not your enemy.
And these self-same people, right, will go to absolute fucking town on William Lane Craig, who is a moderate Christian.
Can I just make a point here? I think part of what's happening is that I think I heard Daniel Dennett say once that maybe it may be a good idea to treat religion like some kind of disease, in that you want to get rid of the most virulent strains first. And I think that's why people go after fundies first. What they forget is, to continue the analogy, that even the less virulent strains, they're still the fucking disease.
Yeah, still carriers.
That's what they forget. By all means, go after the fundies and get rid of creationism, all this shit. But don't say these people aren't making exactly the same errors.
And don't pretend they're harmless.
I just got to ask a question, Wayne. Do you think I'm a hugger theist type? Because
no. It's a very specific behaviour. It's the ones that like to put. You don't put strident atheists down. You don't try to snipe and demonise, strawman them, poison the well against them. See where I'm going from?
Okay. Because I'm not here to have so much the great debate as such as many people are. I fell across this community by accident.
I know what you're saying, Cliff, and it's a very specific thing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just pointing out what my stance is on.
It's a very specific set of behaviours.
Oh yeah, you've answered the question. That's fine. Yeah. I'm just clarifying what my position is, just so people are aware, as we got an audience as well.
If I may, what I often think of Cliff Jumper as being almost extreme in his moderation, extreme in his defense of his friends. I mean, this is the same guy who's gone up to Jason Burns and say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And it's the same person who says, "Hey, I'm friends with Shani. When I leave comments, don't use them to fuck with her. Go fuck with her on your own if you want, but don't use my comment." So
yeah,
I think what we find with Cliff, and I'm not trying to suck Cliff off here, but he does navigate this no man's land quite well. He doesn't get involved, doesn't get hated by the side. He does it in a particular way which probably probably causes less discontent, and that's fine if that's the route you want to go. That's not the way I choose to go.
I mean, my attitude is, like, as I said before, treat everyone with respect until they prove they don't deserve it. And I may not agree with people, but we can have an interesting conversation about things. Yeah. That's what I enjoy. And, and like I say, there are things that you have in common with someone that, you know, and it's other than the religion stuff, you know. And I'm sure, I mean, this is one of the problems we get with this community, that we only see one side of each other. You know, I mean, I'm gonna point at Mark for a second. I don't know anything about Mark other than what he talks about on YouTube. I don't know what his hobbies are, his interests are. You know, how much stalking.
I know what one of his hobbies is.
I'm guessing.
I'm just a normal bloke. I know I'm just an ordinary bloke that likes to have a laugh, and I don't like theists. Other than that,
well, Cliff, for me. The people I get annoyed about are the liars and the arseholes.
Yeah, that's
right.
And that can be found on both sides.
Yeah, but when you get a moderate saying that you're a sinner, or they believe in sin, that Adam and Eve were real, or
even not just that, the idea of sin, or the idea of I
mean, there was a meme earlier about if you believe Adam and Eve are real, which they weren't. So without Adam and Eve, there's no original sin. With no original sin, there's no Jesus. It's that fucking simple.
Can I say something? Am I allowed?
No. Simon was trying to get in first, Annabelle.
Well, I was just going to point out that you know, the fundamental arseholes are shaded by the moderate tits.
I agree.
Annabelle.
What I find really difficult to deal with, and I'm getting more and more frustrated with it and getting more and more fed up, and that's why I'm not going into Hangouts anymore or listening to Nadia's Hangouts, is the moderates who are being told that they're worthless, you know, they're sinful, they're disgusting, that they should spend their time praying for forgiveness.
I'm sorry.
Sorry?
I've got to stop telling them that. I'm really sorry.
Anyway, but these moderates, who most moderates I find are reasonably, you know, easy to get on with and easy to have conversations with, but these moderates are made to feel like a piece of crap constantly, and I just find that hard to understand why they would allow that to go on, and why they even entertain some of these people that they entertain, why they go into rooms with people like Hill Bigot and
well, can I answer that, Annabelle?
Yeah, sure.
Does it not make you think that if this is where their ideology takes you, why don't they drop the ideology?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, that's exactly what I think.
But that's not theirs, is it?
It is, because they share the same core beliefs. When you've got a moderate saying that they believe in something like blasphemy, then you've got the extremists out of 100. You know, there'll be say 30 that believe blasphemy is a thing. 90 maybe. Out of those 90, there'll be someone that will say, well, something needs to be done about it. And then a smaller number will say, well, there needs to be a punishment. And then a smaller number will say that punishment should be death. And then a smaller number are the ones that will actually carry it out. So that the whole basis for the extreme is the solidity, is the foundation that those things are real. That's the problem.
But the moderate people think the crazy lunatics are crazy lunatics as well. You know, I mean, for example.
But you've got moderates believing.
I'm going to disagree with you. Actually,
what
I'm sorry.
I mean before.
Let me explain. I happen to know a couple of moderates now that I've got on with. You know, I've started to get on with quite well, and it's not that they think they're crazy lunatics. They just want to educate them. They want to go in there and educate these crazy lunatics and try and get them to stop behaving like that. But nothing changes. It doesn't happen, and they're made to feel like crap because they feel that they're trying to do that. You know, they're trying to be good people, and yet they're beaten up and bullied constantly by these people. So they don't think they're crazy. That's the thing, Cliff. They don't.
Yeah. I also wonder if I may, I wonder if it's also part of the model. If you hold the general idea that you are a sinner, that you're this, you're that you are the lowest of the low, and then you go into a hangout where you get, you know, torn to bits by a fundy. what does that do but kind of confirm your own sort of low view of yourself? I think you have to factor that in as well.
Exactly. I mean, it's really detrimental to your mental well-being that you're desperately trying to prove to this fundy that that's not what you are, and all they're doing is screaming and yelling at you and telling you you're going to hell. I mean, it's so dysfunctional. The whole situation is really dysfunctional.
Meanwhile, there's an atheist ready saying, look, you don't have to feel this way, you know. If you just wake up, take the red pill.
Do you know, I was in Hangout the other day, and I had this label up, and as you can see, it says whatever it says. I can't remember right now. Something
Extreme
about
moderate anti-theist.
Yeah, anti-theist. So, you know, another atheist in the thing, you know, saying, "Oh, yeah, funny, I get it." And one of the moderate Christians said that they were offended by the fact that I had anti-theist.
Right, because you held a belief that was offensive.
I know. Don't you understand? She's saying, don't you understand? It's offensive to me for people to be anti-theist because you're basically saying you're against me.
Here's the thing.
Have you been speaking to Shamos? What
Here's the thing with offence. If someone says that's offensive to me, that's not an argument.
No.
You gain nothing by saying that's offensive.
Not only that.
Now, if you want to discuss why it's offensive, then you may get me to reconsider my actions. But just saying that's offensive gains you nothing.
The thing is,
I think it wasn't.
I think it wasn't. As Hitchens said, the idea that we're created sick and commanded to be well, as Hitchens said, that we are born dirty pieces of scum, and that they've got the cure or the remedy just is abhorrent.
Can I make a very specific point on the anti-theist label? I'm sick of making this point, right? Sick. And that is that when people say anti-theist means you've got it in for theists, it doesn't. It means you're against theism.
Yes.
Not
you are
against
a person who has anti-theism beliefs or holds to that point of view is an anti-theist. It doesn't mean they are anti-people who are theists. If you say that, you're a fucking retard.
Right, not only that, Jim, if you say that, you're a lying, straw-manning, disingenuous fuck pig.
Could it just be they don't know what the word is?
Wayne, but I've heard, anyway. I think that the problem is that they feel dirty and they've got this huge guilt complex, and it's massive. And they walk around with it like a big black cloud over their head, and then they come into rooms with all these crazy people and get told over and over and over that they're worthless, useless, sinners, dirty, perverts, and whatever else it is that they throw at these people. And
to be fair, though, my missus tells me that.
You haven't got a missus. You haven't got one. Who would marry you? Look, let's be honest.
He keeps her alive in the cellar for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she doesn't have much choice in the matter.
On that note, final comments from everybody. So Annabelle will go first. You're the first on my screen on the left. Any final comments about anything before we close up?
I really don't have much to say. So, but thank you for having me. Thank you for putting up with me, Wayne.
That's later.
That's quite all right, my darling. Enjoy your sex.
I might do.
Cider?
No, nothing more to add. Cheers.
Cliff?
Andy Jack's a lying sack of shit and a hypocrite.
Jim?
And violent.
Sorry, I just want to repeat what Cliff said because it was so good.
Yeah. I'm going to use that as my statement. Actually.
Just repeat it.
yeah, exactly.
I was not expecting that.
Simon?
Well, I'd just like to say thanks to all the condescenders, all the whingers, all the interrupters, all the presuppositionalists, all the rage quitters. In short, hi, Shamos.
Wendy, any last words?
Yeah, it's been a slice. It's been fun.
I hope your migraine is gone and you're feeling better.
It is. Yep.
Good. Laughter's the best medicine.
And the surprise Annabelle was quite nice to see you.
You're looking a little off colour, to be honest, Wendy. Or rather, multicoloured.
Multicolored, yeah.
It's that gay marriage thing. Makes people sick in Canada.
Oh, look at her eyes. Her eyes are yellow.
Last comments from Mr. Hudson.
Well, all I've got to say is I'm going to get an ice cold beer because this fucking heat's making my shit hang.
Cheers.
Lovely.
Well, I would just like to say thank you all for anyone that's contributed, everyone that's come in, and everyone that's commented and watched, and keep watching. It's just a laugh. It's a bit of fun. And to all those that had the chance and didn't come in to say their piece, you've now got to hold your tongue. So until next week, cheerio for now, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Just one of us do it.
Still
Oh, are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, fuck.
Press the bloody button.
Hang on a
I
minute,
want to
guys.
just start listing all the people I really
I just want to say,
fucking hate.
Peripheral Prophet is a pussy.
Hang on.
And I also want to say, G-Man, fuck off. Brett Keane, come back and have a fucking row. Why didn't you put that shit out about me, you wanker?
We're still live. We're still live. Just like to say.
Oh, we're still alive? Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
because I pressed, for some reason, I was clicking the live button in the top right-hand corner. Stop.
He's still alive.
So, yeah,
Hit
my
him with 5 shots.
Oh, right.
Still alive.
The
Go and watch
professional.
Talking Shit
Technically
Tuesday.
yours.
Talking Shit Tuesdays on 20 minutes. Go and watch that.
Talking Shit
Really?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
They don't talk any shit.
It won't be as funny, but you can't have everything.
Even though it's
Bye.
Wednesday.